Seth, how can we help?
Hey guys, how are y'all doing today?
We're having a blast. What's going on?
Okay, I've got a question for you guys. I'm 35 years old, financially fairly stable. My question is how to balance the side jobs, the side gigs, the extracurricular work, if you will, and family. I've got two kids. I've got a little boy that will be 4 in July and one that will be 1 in a month.
What's the goal, Seth? What's the goal of this side work?
To be debt free. I'm so sick and tired. My wife and I both, and we're both on the same page. I'm tired of making monthly payments on.
I love it. How close are you to the end?
Decisions.
How close are you?
Dangerously close. The only debt that we have besides the mortgage is we owe about $5,800 on a car.
So you're real close.
I mean,
what's your payoff
right
date?
There.
What's your payoff date on the car if everything stays the same?
If we just make the payments as scheduled, about 13, 14 months, something like that.
No.
No,
I thought you were working
jobs.
really hard. I'm saying with your goal, how long before you expect to pay this off? Working all these side jobs.
If everything goes according to plan, 3, 4, 5 months, something like that.
Yep. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Keep on playing this out. And then how many more months to have that 3 to 6 month emergency fund funded?
Probably another. Well, with the extra kick, with the car payment being gone, probably 3 or 4 months.
Okay, so here's the deal. I know a lot of men, myself included, who did a lot of extra jobs. We told ourselves it was because of the money, but it really was because we were insecure. We were awkward around our families or our friends, and I was chasing external validation. So when someone asked me to do something, absolutely, I'm in. You need this thing? I can do that. I can help with that. And it was constant movement. And as you're feeling right now, my family's the one that suffered for it. The other side of that is families often sell themselves short. You guys can do anything for 1, 2, 3, 4 years when you are grinding out, sprinting, gazelle intense towards a goal. And that's where you're at, and It's uncomfortable, and you're watching these precious moments of your kids slip through your fingers. Some of that is paying the piper for, as you said, living a life that you couldn't afford, and you got to get caught up. The other side of that is, brother, you are real close.
How would you define out of balance? That's the crux of your question. How do I have balance? And I want to know where you feel the stress or the pain of being out of balance. Describe that briefly.
The fact that, and my wife feels like, in a sense, that she's a single parent, because I work a lot. I'm out of town, some, not a whole lot, but some. But, I'm gone from the house before 8 every morning, and lots of times it's 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night before I roll back up. And, I saw my kids for 15 minutes in the morning, and that's the extent of my interaction with my children.
Got it. Yeah. All right. So, this is what I think you should do. I think you've got to sit down by yourself and go, can I keep this up? And do I think my wife can handle this for, I think you said 3 or 4 more months just to pay off the car? That's a short-term sacrifice that I think is going to pay off big time. But I think if you're willing to do it, if your heart can handle it and you think your wife can, I would determine that, John, first. Then I'd sit down with the wife and go, hey, I'm hearing you, and you know why I'm doing this, but I'm just going to remind you I'm doing this for us. Are you okay if we just bite the stick and we bear down for 3, 4 more months, and at that point I'll knock one of the jobs off, or you guys sit down and talk about it, and then you can slow down a little bit if you feel like your hearts can't keep this up, and then it just takes a little bit longer to get that emergency fund going. The other side of that is, reassess, some other ways that you might be able to juice that emergency fund by selling even more stuff. You guys know your budget, you know your situation, but I think I would stay on the gazelle intensity the way you're working right now until you get the car paid off take a deep breath, maybe even find a better job? Could you do one job that pays what you're doing in 2 extra jobs? Start to just really get innovative and creative, because I think we can always do that. When there's a will, there's a way is an old phrase, and I think that's really true.
And Seth, there is something magic about sitting down with a calendar and your wife and saying, with a big red pen, saying, this is when this ends. And you have to commit and be a person of integrity and keep your word and say, the day that we cross this threshold, I'm quitting this job. And you get your husband back. And not only do you get your husband back physically, your presence there, but I'm going to be invested because I'm not going to be running scared anymore. I'm going to be able to slow down. And I love what Ken said. That's when you start able to thinking about, man, what's another career look like where we can make some more money? What do we want to do? Who do we want to be now that we're done sprinting to get away from this lion?
Yeah.
But I love Ken's advice, man. Sit down with your wife with a calendar and say, this is the end of this. You just told us 3, 4, 5 months. That's a big gap, brother. And then another 3, 4, 5 months to get your emergency fund. If you can tell me from right now, 6 months from today, you are debt-free and you got an emergency fund, and you can sit down with your wife and circle that big on the calendar and say, after this is when we're going on a trip, we're going camp, we're doing something. Man, that everybody can get through that together, but you just got to be super clear.
Seth, real quick, are you working 7 days a week, 5 days a week, 6? What does it look like?
It kind of depends. So I'm a welder, and I have a, quote, day job that is basically a Monday through Friday gig, some weekends, but not. And then I also have my own equipment, and I do some freelance stuff, somebody needs something welded, they call me and I will fix it, or whatever.
So roughly, you got at least a Saturday, a couple times a month where you're not working, or you're working every Saturday?
No, I make it a point at this time.
Good.
To have some time to where it's
good.
Us. It's just our core family, and get off Facebook and.
So here's what I want you to hear from me, Seth. Everything John and I said still holds, but you know what you need to do? Maybe you need to do laundry all day on a Saturday.
That's exactly right.
And actually let her not parent at all.
And yes,
that goes
you're tired.
a long way.
Yes, you're tired.
But
do laundry anyway.
You can handle it.
It's 6 more months. You got this.
Yeah. Give her some relief, not just be home. All right, good stuff. Thanks for the call. Good stuff.